Hello friends, it's really nice to get in touch with you through this virtual medium. Let's talk about magnetic field. We all know that field cannot be measured. Field means influence. So it can be experienced only. It's better to start with force. So we start with magnetic force. We know when a charge q moves with a velocity v in a magnetic field B, it will experience a force F given by Lorentz. F is equals to q into v cross B. V is the velocity of the charge q, B is the magnetic field or induction on that region. So we can measure the magnetic induction B from this expression. First, we find what is the unit of B from this expression. B is equals to F divided by Q into V. If we just left the vector notation, so F is Newton Coulomb meter per second. So Newton second per Coulomb meter. It is known as Tesla. Obviously, this is an SI unit. 1 Tesla is equals to 1 Weber per meter square. This is another SI unit. Now, from this expression, we can define B. B can be defined as if 1 Coulomb charge is moving with velocity 1 meter per second, and if it experiences a force 1 Newton, then the region, the field within that region is 1 Tesla. So from this Lorentz expression of Lorentz force, we can define magnetic field. Now, to give you an idea about how much 1 Tesla is, I am giving you an example. Now, 1 Gauss equals to 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. Gauss is actually the CGS unit of magnetic field or magnetic induction. On Earth's surface, we know there is a magnetic field. On Earth's surface, the magnetic field is 0.36 into 10 to the power minus 4 Tesla. You all experience this magnetic field through various devices, so you can get an idea about how much 1 Tesla is. Now this Lorentz force F does no work. Remember this Lorentz force F does no work. We can easily verify it. The power equals to F dot V, force into velocity. Now for Lorentz force, F is equals to Q into V cross V dot V. So the angle between these two quantities F and V is 90 degree. Thus the power delivered under this Lorentz force will always be 0. That is, the work done under the Lorentz force is always 0. So the Lorentz force does no work. Now from another angle we can define this magnetic field and we can reach the famous Biot-Savart law. In 1820, just a few weeks after Oersted announced his discovery that current produced magnetic field. Current produce magnetic field. We all know the Oersted experiments. We are taught in 10+2 level rather in class 10 level. So Ampere presented the result of a series of experiments which mathematically can be written as F2 is equals to mu 0 by 4 pi I1 into I2 close integration over 1 close integration over 2 dl2 cross dl1 cross r2 minus r1 divided by mod r2 minus r1 cube. Don't get confused. I will explain this expression clearly. To explain this expression, I just draw a simple figure. We all know that the source of magnetic field is current element. I will clearly discuss with you later. I am just drawing this simple figure. Say we are considering two current loops. This is the first loop through which current is flowing I1, and this is another loop, another arbitrary loop through which the current flowing is I2. Now we consider two current element dl1 and another current element dl2. The position of dl1 and dl2 with respect to an arbitrary origin, say this is r1 and this is r2. So the distance between these two is r2 minus r1. Now the force experienced by this current element dl2 due to the current flowing through the first loop is F2 according to Ampere, and Ampere written this expression as F2 is equals to mu 0 by 4 pi close integration over 1 close integration over 2. I am writing I1 I2 within the integration, that does not matter, dl2 cross dl1 cross r2 minus r1 divided by mod of 2 minus r1 cube. This is a very much familiar to us. You can remember in electrostatic the Coulomb expression of force F2 is equals to Q1 Q2 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. So here Q1 plays the same role as I1 dl1, Q2 plays the same role as I2 dl2, and mu 0 by 4 pi plays the same role, mu 0 by 4 pi plays the same role as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 in electrostatic. Now you can ask me why the term mu 0 by 4 pi appears. It is a constant which is required to make an experimental law compatible with a set of units. The value of mu 0 by 4 pi is 10 to the power minus 7 Newton per ampere square. So from this expression I can easily derive Biot-Savart law, which we all are familiar with Biot-Savart law. Now I am writing again the term F2 is equals to mu 0 by 4 pi I1 I2 close integration over 1 close integration over 2 dl2 cross dl1 cross r2 minus r1 divided by r2 minus r1 cube. Now from this expression of force given by Ampere, we can find the expression of field. Just remember the expression of force in electrostatic, the Coulomb's law. F2 equals to Q1 Q2 by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. So this is the force experienced by Q2 due to Q1. So how we can find E1, the field at the position of the charge Q2 due to Q1, it is Q1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. I am just omitting Q2. So in the similar manner, if we just omit I2 dl2, it will gives us the field, at the position of dl2. So B at the position of R2 can be written as mu 0 by 4 pi into I1 close integration over 1 dl1 cross R2 minus R1 divided by mod R2 minus R1 cube. You can just remember here that I1 dl1 plays the same role as Q1, mu 0 by 4 pi plays the same role as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 in electrostatics, and we are now can define the magnetic field. This is the very famous equation Biot-Savart law. This is the very famous equation, Biot-Savart law. Now, I will discuss Biot-Savart law. You are not familiar with such type of expression. I am just writing it in a familiar manner. B dB equals to mu 0 by 4 pi I dl cross r hat by r square. Think dB is the differential magnetic field, that is the magnetic field due to the just I1 into dl1, that is the current element dl1. Here, to get a similarity from this expression with the Ampere's expression, I can just showing you that here dl is the dl1 in the Ampere expression, r hat, that means we r2 minus r1 divided by r2 minus r1 r cube, that means r hat by r square, and everything is same. We are just left the integration sign because we are finding the only the differential magnetic field, only the small magnetic field dB due to the current element I dl1. We are not finding due to the total loop. So to discuss Biot-Savart law, as we know, it's better to ask you a question. What is the source of magnetic field here? We know that the source of electric field is charge q. Now the question is, what is the source of magnetic field? The source of magnetic field is a small current element. We already talked about current element just when we are going to this, when we have discussed Ampere's law. So current element is the source of magnetic field. Now, what is Biot-Savart law? Biot-Savart law, dB is equals to mu 0 by 4 pi I dl cross r hat by r square. Now I already inform you why mu 0, this term mu 0 by 4 pi comes. This is merely a constant to familiar with a unit, to fit it with a proper unit system. Now what is the direction of dB? If I draw a simple figure, I am just writing this expression again. If I draw a simple figure, then you can think what is the direction of dB. This is the field point P and say this is R. So this is the direction of dB. Remember, dB is perpendicular to the plane containing dl and r. dB is perpendicular to the plane containing dl and r. This is a very important idea. From this expression, here the value of mu 0 is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7 Weber per ampere. So from this discussion, I hope you got an idea about what is the magnetic field and what is the necessity that we should start from magnetic force, from the expression of magnetic force given by Ampere as well as given by Lorentz. Thank you. Hope you are enjoying your study. Thank you again for your patience to hear me.